Hello all, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new video series I'm starting today called Mid-Game Madness, where we're going to explore everything in the mid-game. And the first thing we're going to do, because we only have 4 minutes of time left to summon exclusive Illyrium to try to get the water man-at-arms. So we are going to try to do this. We've been busy all day and we suddenly looked and saw there was only 7 minutes left. The Water Man-at-Arms, the Fire Sphere, or the Tree Sorcerer, who are all new. The next set of Nat 5s that starts in 4 minutes, 2 of the 3 are dupes. So we're trying to see if we can get to this quickly enough, because we are almost certainly about out of time. And we have plenty of exclusives. Okay, good. We got the Fire Sphere. And that's where we're going to stop, I think. Unless we get back to back. Okay. Ooh, 8 attack IVs on that Ripper. So that's really good. Let's see how much time is left. 19 seconds. Okay, we did it. Okay, so we really wanted the Water Man-at-Arms. But we only had to use 10 exclusive, and we got the Fire Sphere, which is a unit we really wanted to use. So we got our Nat 5 literally less than a couple minutes before the end of the exclusives. That was some madness right there, but we got it done. One of the things we hope to do in this series is work our way up in arena and try to get that R1 challenge completed to get the rewards for that. And the Fire Sphere was, because I'm seriously thinking about doing the double Fire Bookworm with the Fire Sphere, or maybe Fire Bookworm plus a Tree Bookworm. We'll have to figure that out later. But we needed that piece. So now we've got it. So now we can figure out what we want to do next. So here we are back in my main. You can see the average run is about 2 minutes. There were a couple of runs, especially the last one, where I was getting set up to record the video. So the dungeon got delayed because I was setting up my screen sharing software and stuff. So it's roughly a 2-minute team. You can see it's basically a 3- and 4-star free-to-play team. The only unit you have to get lucky in pulling is the Fire Ripper. And it doesn't really take that long to get him. And he's not fully skilled. So all the 3 stars are fully skilled, but the 4 stars are not. So, and the runes required for this are not hard. So this is a good team that a lot of people should be able to build. And the key parts of it is that you have to have the right turn order, you have to have the right speed settings for each team member, and the right attack power, so that the 2 units that could do you the least harm are replicated by the minions in the boss stage. So let's take a look at that. Hey, we got a heart too. That's awesome. Hearts do not drop very often. That's my second one. So now I can 6-star specialize 2 units because I got one earlier today. So we can see here the fastest unit is the Fire Hog, and we want that because the boss replicates the fastest unit and the unit with the most attack power. So the Fire Hog is not going to defense break us. It can't do damage, so it's safe to have that be the fastest unit. And then I didn't want the Fire Ripper, who could have the most attack power, no problem. I didn't want him to have the most attack power because with his passive, he could potentially one-shot somebody. So we didn't want the Fire Ripper to have the highest attack power. And so this is how you build each unit, and we'll go through them in turn order. That way it's easy to remember the turn order when you're watching the video. The fastest unit is the Hog Chef. She's on speed, HP, HP. She doesn't need accuracy. She doesn't do any debuffs. And I could definitely make her tankier by adding more stats to her. But she's just on speed, HP, HP. That's all she really needs to do. And then you can see the next 2 units to go are my setup units. So the next one to go is the Fire Occult Dancer. And she's not on the best gear. She's on speed, crit damage, HP. One of the reasons that the Fire Sharpshooter is in here is that she gives a 30% crit buff. The Fire Occult Dancer only needs to be on 70% crit because she'll get the crit buff from the Fire Sharpshooter. So I could actually lower her crit a little bit increase her crit damage, increase her HP, so that she could do more damage. And she actually does a pretty decent amount of damage already. So the Fire Occult Dancer's skill 3 is damage based on her max HP. So if I increase her HP, which won't impact who the boss takes, she'll be doing more damage, which will speed up the runs. In a 10 run, the average speed was 1:39. And you only need 1:30 to unlock 20 runs. So if you just improve the runes on this team a little bit, you're going to get to 1.5 runs, and then you unlock 20 runs. So Fire Sharpshooter goes, so it probably would be better for me to move the Fire Sharpshooter up in front of the Fire Occult Dancer. The Occult Dancer would always have the crit buff when she's attacking. So the Fire Sharpshooter is on HP, crit damage, accuracy. And I like having her on accuracy just so that she can land her defense buffs, because she's setting up the 2 real damage dealers in the team. Once I get my arena items upgraded more with more HP and more defense, we could switch her to attack, crit damage, attack. She'll do way more damage and make the runs even faster. So a lot of room for improvement on these runes, but it also shows you that you don't need crazy runes to run B10 of this dungeon in a very safe manner. So after she moves, the Fire Gunslinger moves right after her. He's only 2 speeds slower. And he's on speed, crit rate, attack. And I believe his crit rate is actually over 100%. Yeah, so it's over 100%. And then he gets another 30% from Fire Sharpshooter's buff. So once I get better gear on some of the other units, I could get some better echo gear. Then putting him on attack, crit damage, attack would definitely speed up this dungeon. And then the slowest unit is the Fire Ripper, and he's just there to kind of clean up. And he's also he's on attack, crit damage, attack, crit damage, HP, because when I was testing this, every once in a while, he would get hit enough that he would die. Even though the team didn't fail, it would get a lot slower. And I also remember that I pulled a 8 attack Fire Ripper, and I'm not using that here. So I need to change that up. So you can see that his skill ups are not complete yet. So I could add some more skill ups to him, and he would do more damage. So we are going to show you the first run, but when I've been watching this run, I have seen moments where one of the minions almost dies, and then somebody else has to kill it. And when that happens, you're slowing down your run. But with having Paw go first, who will cleanse debuffs off, and then you get 2 units that can defense break, then that sets up your damage dealers to do pretty. So right there, the Fire Gunslinger almost killed it but didn't. And that adds a couple seconds to the run. And you see that a lot because the runes are just not up to snuff yet. We target him first to get rid of him so he can't kill anybody on our team. And by doing it this way, letting them capture the Gunslinger, there's no defense break for the enemy to use, which keeps your team a lot safer. So now it's just killing the boss, which just takes time. And so what are the mechanics of this dungeon you have to worry about? The first thing is that you need to make sure that you give the proper 2 units for the boss's minions to copy. You don't want anyone with defense breaks. You don't want anyone with an attack buff, who's a damage dealer, to prevent the minions that are duplicated from killing one of your team members, because that could be a problem. And then in terms of overall team speed, the speed I'm using is just fine. It moves ahead of all the minions and the bosses. Obviously, the more speed you have, the better. The turn order is what's most important, though. And the time is always, on average, around 2 minutes, sometimes lower. And you just saw the gear. The gear could definitely be improved. And then you're looking at a sub-minute-and-a-half team. And you will notice that the Fire Sharpshooter is in there, and her skill 3 is not turned off, which means that when the Fire Sharpshooter does her volley, she increases the boss's attack bar instead of decreasing it, which is not good because that basically gives the boss a turn. But the boss is generally not going to be able to kill your team, so it just gives the boss 1 extra turn, And I'm okay with it because the damage from the skill 3 is really good. And she's on only decent gear. So that'll improve even more as her gear gets better. Also on her skill 3 I have intelligence on for her, with her skill 2 being on high and her skill 3 being medium and skill 1 being low. And that's so that she always tries to use skill 2 first, which is really good because she usually uses it. We'll see if she does. She usually uses it when she first gets to the boss. Nope, she didn't have skill 2 available. So, but her skill 2 is really good for killing off one of the side minions. So we might be able to kill off the Fire Hog Chef. Here's a gang fight, depending on who she pulls. Half HP. But you can see because she did that, when the Fire Ripper took his turn, dead minion, and now it's just the boss. We shouldn't have any issue with this. And the Fire Hog's passive is really good for getting that hex off. It's so annoying. And now we're just waiting for defense break. Another reason I like the Fire Sharpshooter skill 2 is that she'll pull in the Fire Ripper, who has a skill 1 heal block, which prevents the boss from healing, which is really nice for speeding up the runs. So even if she gives the boss a turn, usually she has a heal block on from the Fire Ripper, and they're able to kill off the boss. The skill 3 could be turned off, but I like the damage that it does, especially once I get better gear on her. I think it'll be really worthwhile. And then her skill 3 also really helps on the waves, because she can kill off 2 or 3 low HP minions in the waves to make the waves faster and prevent the waves from stunning your team, which is a problem in this dungeon. If you're not moving fast enough and killing the waves fast enough, they'll start stunning you, and then you got issues. I saw a couple other teams that were definitely faster than mine. Some of them had Nat 5s in them, which people might not have, and some of them, the gear was better than mine. And so I didn't know if that team would work if your gear was where mine is at. And so I wanted to show this team, easy to attain, all the team members, and gear's not crazy. So a lot of people should be able to replicate this and have a nice, safe B10 team that they could just farm, put to the side, and hopefully someday we actually get background farming so we can actually look at all this specialization stuff we're supposed to be working on, which you can't do when you're farming right now. So devs, please work on that. We all want background farming a lot. That would be very, very helpful for the game. And we're going to take a break and let this 10 run finish, and then we'll come back and do summons. All right, we're back, and we averaged 2 minutes and 4 seconds over a 10 run with no fails. That's typically how this team works. It's usually a little bit faster than that. So that's the Fire Plane B10 team. Hope that helps you guys out. Now it's time for summons. See, we're at 62 out of 200 on Nat 5s, and we're at 6 out of 18 on LD4. So we may not hit pity on Nat 5s, which is okay, because if you look at exclusives, we've got 106 of them, but the only unit I don't have here is the water specialist, who's great, but I really don't want to pull when I've got the 2 other units. So what we're really after today is we've got 17 Twilights, so we should almost certainly get a LD4. So we'll pull our regular Illyrium just to work on our pity, but if we don't get anything, then we'll just we'll leave those be until next time. Ant Cannon, it's really good to get skill ups for those. That's good. Another Ant Cannon, not the best IVs, so that's a skill up. We already have 2 of those built for Territory Wars, so that's not worth building a 3rd one on those IVs. We're going to keep going, and maybe we'll just get super lucky and get an F5. Okay, and we skipped some of the regular Illyrium summons because we didn't get anything super exciting. 6 out of 18. So after we do about 12 of them, we should get into pretty good pity. Let's hope we get 1 or 2 lightnings. Light tank with bad IVs. And the other thing we're still looking for damage dealers with better IVs. Most of our damage dealers still have horrible IVs. My goodness. That's actually not a bad light spider. His damage is based on defense. But I'd rather have +5 HP rather than -10. Ooh, lightning. Okay. Dark Bomb Man. That's new. Okay, we'll have to play around with him and see how he does. In the specialization update just happened, so maybe he could be much better with specialization. But let's see if we can get one more lightning. There's a decent. Again, I'd like to see positive HP and defense on the units. We're not really seeing any good IVs out of this stuff. 9 attack is not helpful on the light. 5 defense, that's not really that good. Got 6 left. Another light spider, bad IVs. Dark giant with bad IVs. Light steel wings, he's not really a damage dealer, so I don't think that helps. Ooh, lightning, okay. Now let's see, what can we get? Yes! Dark ant cannon IVs aren't the best, but they're also not horrible, and this is a very good unit. So I am excited for that. That's going into territory wars almost immediately. Outstanding. So now can we get really greedy and get one more lightning? Probably not. And that's not good IVs for a light hog chef. Let's see what we get here. Another light spider. Could be tanky. It's not horrible IVs for him. He's not really a damage dealer anyway, so making him more tanky could be good. So anyway, that's summons for now. I don't think we're anywhere close to pity. We're at 126, so we're going to keep saving our powerful Illyriums and our exclusive Illyriums until we get above pity and use those to get the units we want. So that's it for this episode. Welcome to Mid-Game Madness. We're going to be trying to do harder and harder things in this series. I hope you find that interesting. Until the next video, see ya.